What is up, Steve here? I hope you are doing well. I want to talk about this article, but also I want to talk about some of the indicators in the housing market, because a lot of information that we were seeing in the past from certain media outlets really only talk about lagging indicators, and I want to talk about really present day indicators when we're studying the housing market. So let's dive into this. The housing market just slid into a full-blown correction, says top economist Mark Zandi. He tells Fortune that we've officially moved from a housing boom into a housing correction. The real estate data rolling in for April and May shows the U.S. housing market is softening. Now let's talk about that for a second. I got some notes here. And I wrote this out. So closed home sales and median home sales price is a lagging indicator. So you got to understand, let's say inventory that closes out in May or even April, those properties were in contract probably 30, 45 days ago. So those people locked their mortgage interest rates that long ago as well. So everything that they're talking about with the past, it's all lagging. It's a lagging indication of where we're at today. What we need to look at today to really see where we're going into the future is real-time indicators are mortgage rates. We're talking mortgage demand, which we did another video on that in terms of mortgage demand is at the lowest level in 22 years. We're talking new inventory coming to market. So we're seeing a lot more new inventory. If inventory was flat and non-existing, and I know in some markets there's still not a whole lot of inventory, but nationwide as a whole, more inventory is coming to market. So we want to keep an eye on the new inventory coming to market. We also want to look at back on market. This is extremely important. I mentioned in several videos that I'm on a lot of email drips. As a real estate broker, I set myself up on all these drips in different communities that I'm looking at investing in the future when really prices go down, because I think they're going to go down significantly here in Southwest Florida. We want to look at the back on market properties, because these are properties that, you know, they were in contract and something happened, and a lot of times it's going to be people's financing. It's going to be people just getting scared because they're now seeing the media kind of catching up, speaking the truth, unlike a lot of the CEOs of major real estate firms that were putting out a lot of BS information, in my professional opinion. But a lot of the back on market, that those sellers are probably going to be very motivated as well. So if you guys are in the market to purchase, keep your eye on those, but we're seeing a lot more of those. We're also looking at price reductions as a real-time indicator as well, because that is happening here in our market. I know it's happening nationwide. We're seeing a lot more price reductions. We're seeing really heavy price reductions as well. A property that I had my eye on over on Fort Myers Beach, they just dropped it a couple $100,000. And looking at sold comps 6 months, a year ago, it was priced pretty well for where it was at right now. So a lot of people, even on my channel here, they're commenting saying, oh, well, a lot of people are just pricing really high and dropping price down. That there is some truth to that, but that's not the whole truth. There are people that are listing where sold properties were, 3, 5, 8 months ago, and now they're dropping even lower than the sold market. So we need to keep an eye on price reductions for a real-time indicator of the housing market. And another thing that people aren't talking about either, and we see them, are expired listings. So expired listings are properties that just straight up didn't sell. So you got people that they might have had offers, but they wouldn't accept these offers. They were maybe lower offers. They had a set price that they needed to be at. Who knows? Their debt position might have been really high. So, they might have had offers where if they closed on it, they'd have to come to the table to check to get out of the property. So other things are they just are priced way too high, or maybe the condition of the property is just in really bad shape. So we want to keep an eye also on expired listings for real-time information here. New home sales fell 19% to their lowest level since April 2020. New home sales you know, it's reported that there's 1.6 million homes under construction right now. That is a lot of inventory. And I did other videos on the housing market or new home construction of people basically backing out of contracts. And you can actually read up on a lot of the comments on those videos that I did where people have real life scenarios and they say, hey, their interest rate, they were running numbers at 3.5% and now they're at 5.5 or 5.25. And we had to split, we had to back out because they just were uncomfortable with the new payment, or some people just couldn't afford the new payment. So I anticipate we're going to see a lot of those properties come to market, even new construction that were not necessarily spec. And we're going to see people backing out of more and more new construction projects, I believe. And then the builders that are building spec means that they don't have a buyer lined up. And rightfully so. I mean, with the supply chain issues and the rising cost of construction materials and labor, you know, home builders elected to just build spec because they didn't know what the final price or the final cost of that property is going to be when they were getting close to CO, certificate of occupancy. So it was too risky for a builder to lock in somebody 8 months prior to lock them into a price because they didn't know if their costs were going to rise significantly. So they built on spec. And I believe that a lot of those properties we're going to see come to market as well. And I believe you're going to see new home construction inventory. Really, the incentives are going to be out there in terms of buyer incentives. I'm a real estate broker, as mentioned, and I'm getting emails from Neil community saying we're going to give a bonus to you as real estate agents for bringing prospective buyers. So they're scrambling right now. I think that the home builders are a little nervous as to what's going on, and I think I foresee some of the smaller home builders probably going out of business because they're going to get caught up and they're going to be over leveraged. Redfin reports 19% of home listings cut their price over the past month. I mean, obviously that was unheard of. The real estate market is moving quickly. I've never seen this before. And I've been in real estate since 2003, a broker since 2006. I have not seen the real estate market move this rapidly. I mean, December of last year, nobody was talking these kind of numbers. A lot of other YouTubers like myself were saying, hey, it's coming. It was a matter of time before, rates went up and then it was just going to be a snowball effect. But it's happening. It's happening quickly. And it's going to be happening nationwide. If it's not happening in your neighborhood right now, I'd say be prepared for it. Inventory is rising fast while mortgage applications and existing home sales are falling. We just addressed that. And anyway, if you guys are getting value out of this, I appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. I'm just trying to keep you guys as updated as possible on anything pertaining to the housing market. And also when things do shift, I'm going to bring you guys through some of our acquisitions in terms of what we're going to be looking at, what we're going to be buying. But right now I'm sitting tight on cash and I'm going to be waiting for the right time to pull the trigger on some good properties out there. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot.